Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are joined by Mary Mazur. She's a certified Psych-K instructor and facilitator. Also, she's a certified holistic nurse. Of course, she's the owner of her own business as well called Ignite and Heal Ministries, SSM, from Dearborn, Michigan. Welcome back to the show today. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Jill. Thank you for having me on your beautiful show. Thank you
Well,
so
thank you for being here. For those new listeners and viewers today, would you mind introducing yourself to us?
Oh, absolutely. So, yes, so my name is Mary Mazur, and I'm here to help bring in the love, light, play, wonder for the world. And to do that by who I am and what I offer with the gifts that I offer for people to help ignite within them the true essence of who they are, of love and light. And we're here to help people with getting ignited today.
Aha. Speaking of, and our topic for the day is
Yes. Finding safety and security within you. Okay.
beautiful, wonderful. And let's just remind everyone how we could reach out to you before we start.
Sure, absolutely. You can go to my website, igniteandhealyourlife.com. So ignite and heal your life, life.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. So, all right, let's get started. Finding safety and security within us. How does that work? Because not all of us have that ability, but it's good if we do. So, let's start off with the basics. Tell us a little bit about that topic.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, and the reason it came up within me today to talk and share with you, Jill, and then anyone else who's listening right now is that's what I'm actually feeling within my own self, which is interesting because we actually are the microcosm to the macrocosm,
Yeah.
which means whatever we are feeling, I'm sure other people are feeling too in this world, if you can imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially with what the world is presenting with us right now. So I check in with myself every morning just to see how are things going, how am I doing, and then I allow like whatever thoughts come up, whatever feelings come up, and then I embrace it. I actually thank it for showing up. And so what came up this morning was a little bit about feeling safe and feeling secure. And I thought, well, this is really interesting, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I would love to explore it with you and with the listeners that are having it. But a lot because, and I think where the roots of this is coming from is because we're having massive changes happening on the planet right now and in a lot of people's lives, especially as what's happened with us in the last 2 years
Yeah.
really woke up a lot of people, thank goodness. And there are many people that are still being a little bit stubborn about waking up and not wanting to wake up or make changes. So you can get that dynamics in the home, and I'm even having it in my home. So you have some that are willing to grow and embrace the changes and want to really fly through it, and others like not so much, want to just keep everything the same as it was. And I think with that, it kind of toppled up a little bit of my safety and security within me that I felt because then I might need to make some new changes, and we might need to make some new changes, and that can really change our own sense of safety and security. Whenever you make a change, it can kind of bring up those fears about safety.
Oh, absolutely. And we're talking about the pandemic, by the way, the past 3 years, how things have changed, the new norm, they call it, right? People working from home, people have new jobs, had to discover new forms of making a living, adjusting, and it's been hard. And they're talking about bringing masks back again, and COVID is up again, and and children in school again. It's just become a new norm. This anxiety, this pressure, this stress, which I'm sure you're dealing with a lot of people with that. I mean, the increase in anxiety and stress has just been off the charts. Everyone you talk to is anxious, is stressed. And I'm trying to remember before the pandemic, was I ever this anxious? What? No, I don't think so, to be honest with you. But clearly, that has had a huge effect on so many of us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the gift here is that it actually is a gift for all of us, as hard as it might be to be able to see that or experience that right now, especially when you do feel a lot of anxiety or fears. It can be really difficult to recognize that this is actually here for us to help us. This is not here to harm us or to hurt us in any way.
Yeah.
All these changes are here to help give people an opportunity to do the things they love. Most of us did jobs just to pay the bills, to just survive, and to just do what we were told to do. But this is what the big wake up call is people are recognizing, you know what, I don't like the situation I'm in right now, or I don't, it doesn't feel right. There's something inside of us that's actually nudging us, and this is what I
Yeah.
want to be able to talk about. Is that is actually the key. It's the key to everything. We actually have our own internal guidance system within us. Every single one of us do. Every single one of us are divine. We are amazing beings on this planet, and it's vital that we begin to listen to that inner voice inside of us now, the one that's of love, not the one of fear, because we also have that voice in us too.
Yeah.
So if we hear the voice of fear, that's okay, because that's just a program you have in your subconscious mind. And that's the gift I want to offer, is that the work I offer is I help people access those parts of them. The parts that are running in fear, the parts that are limiting them, the parts that are having them feel shackled, just because they're scared, or because they don't know what to do. They don't think they know what to do. Psyche is a tool that I
And
learned.
yeah, what is
That's
Psyche
what
for
we're
those that
talking.
may not know?
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Which we'll dive into. That, yeah, it's just a way. Rob Williams is the originator of Psyche. He received this about 35 years ago. This is a spiritual process that we received from our spirit angelic team, if you want to call it, from the higher dimensions. That
Yeah.
literally was downloaded, channeled through Rob Williams. I was moved to be from a birth nurse. Now I help people birth their true essence. I help ignite people, or help people ignite themselves, so that they can begin to listen to that internal guidance of their true essence, their wisdom, and that's what's going to help them get through, so they can feel safe and secure. That's actually the key.
Got it. And safe and security is what we all need to feel. And with Psyche, so that works with, how does that work specifically? I know you do virtual and in person, but what is the process like to get inside someone's mind to help them start making these changes?
Yeah, thank you for that. So yes, I offer private sessions, and yes, I can work through Zoom. At the higher levels of Psyche, we get what's called a surrogation protocol, which means, with the permission of their higher self and my higher self, it's our spiritual aspects of ourself, that it's safe and appropriate, we can hook up on a spiritual level. So when I work with somebody through Zoom, it's as if like their spirit's cloaked over me. So, and we use what's called muscle testing. That's what help communicate with the communication with in their mind. I also, with my gifts, have opened up where I can actually hear them talking. So that's one of my gifts, is that with the channeling, as if they're literally their higher self, their true
Yeah.
essence, not just the confused part of them, or the one that's stuck in fear, but the one that's of pure love. And so that's what they get to connect with again, and then start opening up that channel again, because that's the guidance channel that's going to help them. It's, many in religions will call it the Holy Spirit. So it's their Holy Spirit running through them, directly connected with the divine essence of love, that is here to help them. So this is what we do with Psyche, is help them remove, they change and edit the limiting programs that are limiting them, and then insert what they want instead. What are their heart's desires? And they literally, it's a reprogramming system. It's kind of similar to a computer, where they're going to actually put new apps in their mind and delete the old apps that don't serve them anymore.
Yeah.
So if they have apps that was like, I'm not good enough, I don't think I matter, I do things, I can't trust the decisions I make. If it's hard to forgive, people have hurt you so bad that you closed off your heart. That's a beautiful one, to be able to feel safe, to open your heart again, and to love yourself again, and love others again, and begin again. So you literally, in a very fast, accelerated way, insert the new ways of wanting to be. Like, I experience love wherever I go. How would you like to
Yeah.
have that one as a one, right? Or
I
my
love that.
future, my
Yeah.
future, my future is glorious. I create a beautiful life for myself. If you don't have those programs running, it's going to be really difficult for you to actually create those. So
Yeah. Well,
psyche helps you with that. Yep.
oh, well, how did you get into this? Because you are so positive, so upbeat, so yeah, and not all of us have that in us. So what led you here? Would you mind sharing? Were you always like this? Could you share a little bit about your own personal
Well, thank
experience and journey?
Yeah, thank you for that. I definitely love fun, and I love excitement, but before Psyche, and I learned it 12 years ago, I came to a workshop, and that's what we invite people to do. I teach workshops, 3-day workshops, whether it's online or in person, you can come learn this for yourself. I was motivated to learn because my husband was diagnosed with leukemia, and I did not want him to die. So it drove me to go learn a self-healing tool
Yeah.
way that we can do that. So that's what drove me. So before I learned Psyche, I was a fighter. I was one that loved to get into argumentative conversations and ruffle things up. And I was intense, and I was chaotic in my energy. Yet I thought I was joyful, but I actually was like, would be overjoyed, and then I didn't know how to calm down. So I was scattered. That was a lot of my energy. And yeah, I like to have a lot of fun, but then I would get all mad and frustrated. So you'd be like this yo-yo life that a lot of us go through, of our emotions. What Psyche has helped me do is to access who I really am, and that in each one of us are this. We are peaceful.
Yeah.
We are loving. Everything is well. In my world now, within me, I know all is well. I know whatever happens to me, it's happening for me, not against me. And I know there's a reason for it, and I choose to open up to the wonder of what it's going to bring me. I didn't used to be that way. I was fearful. I grew up in inner city Detroit. I was raised with a father that was a Marine, and I have 11 brothers and sisters. That was very chaotic, always nutty things happening in my home. Fun things, but also crazy things too. So, yeah, with Psyche, I was very grateful that it came exactly. I called it in because we actually create our lives, and I didn't even know I called it in. I just knew I stated in to say, no, we have a right to self heal our bodies. And I wanted my husband to show that, to prove himself that he could do it. And he did. It took him 14 years, but he's done that. He is healthy and well. And
Wow.
I know, and I know. So whatever the medical profession tells about stuff, you don't have to believe that. You believe what you want to believe. As long as it's safe and appropriate for you to believe it, you're not harming anybody. Go live a life that you greatly desire. So yeah, my life has completely transformed. I love my life, and I love everyone I interact with now. Where before I was frustrated with my life.
Hmm. Let me ask you. So there was a doctor who developed this technique, right? What was his name? Like 30
Oh
something
no, he's
years
not.
ago? Who developed
Yeah, he's not a
Psyche?
doctor. Yeah, thank you. He's not a doctor. He actually has a master's degree in psychotherapy, so
Oh,
he was a
okay.
psychotherapist. It's
Hmm.
okay, but he's a psychotherapist. But he actually received this, so he didn't develop it. He actually is the conduit for it. So he says he's the originator of Psyche because he literally received it as a download, a visual download that he typed in with words and everything. Yes, this is a complete
Wow.
download. This was a complete download that he received, and he was ready for it. He did a lot of things to prepare himself because he was seeking to try and find how can we have long-lasting changes with people. He was helping with talk therapy; it just wasn't long-lasting. He could help bring people raise their awareness about what's happening, but they didn't know how to change it. Psyche helps you change it. That's the difference.
Got it. And do you have any upcoming workshops that you're doing? Are they virtual, in person?
Oh, thank you for that. I do the end of this month, October 28th to the 30th, the end of this month, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a 3-day in-person workshop. So it's in Michigan. Yay! Now, in November, just before Thanksgiving, I will be posting that this week. I'll do an offer, an online one. So if people want to learn from this from their home, they're welcome to do that too. Yes.
Now, could you give us some examples of some of the ways you've helped change and transform people's lives for the better?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Yeah, many things, right? Okay, so I had a woman, these are private sessions. So people want to do
Yes.
1 hour private sessions. So I had a woman that reached out to me. She actually worked with a life coach for 6 months. So the gift with Psyche is it's meant to be partnered with lots of other things, like life coaching or other things, and it's a super important key to also have. So at the time, she was bedridden for 5 years. She couldn't get out of bed, and she was married with 2 kids. Every time she would get out of bed or stand up, she'd pass out. So they called it a certain syndrome. The medical profession has a syndrome
Hmm.
that they call that, but a lot of it was based on all of her fears, and it literally stopped her from living and just living in the bed. And she was in her 20s, late 20s, with like dealing with this being in her bed. Finally, she got enough that says, I have got to make changes. She wasn't sick, but she couldn't walk around and move around. Her system, she would pass out. How interesting
Wow.
is that, right? Your
Yeah.
body's going to do stuff to get your attention, and then we have a way we can change it. So, someone with her doing the research, like people listening to this, when they hear about Psyche, and if it nudges you, she listened to the nudge. And working with her, she actually was laying in her bed while we worked through Zoom, while she made the changes within her mind to open up her heart to transmute the fear and help herself shift back into her love again. And literally within each session that I had with her, within 2 sessions, I think by the next week she was already sitting up working with me. Within 2 weeks, she was going to her daughter's um, sports events again. And within 6 months, she came and flew up to where I teach and learned Psyche for herself. And her life was completely changed, transformed. So it's a beautiful example. It was in her readiness. Her readiness is what drove everything, in her intention. And then this is what Psyche meets you. When you are ready to hear this, like this talk today, that means there's something in you that's sparkling in you that, wow, maybe this could help me too. Yeah, it can. And that's what we're here for. It helps me. I work with it within my own self every day. And then I assist my family, my friends, and then any clients or anyone that wants to reach out to me.
Beautiful. And how do we do that again? Remind us of the best forms.
Yeah, that my on my website there's a contact us button so you can email me there. So it's igniteandhealyourlife.com. Igniteandhealyourlife.com. They can also text me on my ministry number, and that's 313-909-6362, and that's 313-909-6362.
Beautiful. And I know you've had some hardships in your life. You lost, was it your sister?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My sister committed suicide. Yeah. So she was 27. I was 17 when that happened. Yeah.
And I mean, that type of trauma, how do you, is that what, that couldn't have been easy or good. Does psyche help with loss? People dealing with trauma from the loss of a loved one
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because when with loss, you feel disconnected,
and
sad, or like
alone.
my sister, we feel like we could have done something. I could have reached out and helped prevent that from happening. So we feel guilty, especially when it's something like suicide. So yeah, so with Psyche, literally within minutes, you can step into that guilt, you can step into that sadness, that loss, and literally everything is just energy. When we can recognize everything is just energy, and it's actually on the spectrum of love. And so if the farther we are away from love, it's just dense energy like shame and guilt and worry and fear. That's just a very dense energy of love, okay? What Psyche helps you do is step into those dense, far away parts of love within you, and then you literally shift it where you get to bring yourself, we call it a whole brain state. You literally become whole brained again, you become whole again, you shift back into your love again. So I have complete love for my sister. That was her choice, and that was, everyone gets free will choice here, and she taught me a lot. And I'm grateful for the experience, as hard as it is, and I know we are always connected. So that's the other piece. I was able to put in a goal that I'm always connected with my sister.
Yeah.
So even if we can't physically be here together, she's in my heart, and I feel her love and I feel her joy. She's eternal, I'm eternal. And when we can connect in that way, yeah, you use everything, every hardship or suffering experience you go through, to help us here.
Got it. And you also were told by a higher being or spirit, right? That this is what you're going to do. When did that happen?
Yeah, thank you for that. So after I learned Psyche, of course, I was in denial and I didn't think I even needed it. I thought I was doing pretty good. I was tough, man, and I didn't think I needed any help. I actually had believed I could do everything myself. I don't need any other help from something else. But I wanted to help my husband. Well, he didn't want anything to do with it. Makes sense. Took about 3 years, but once he was ready, it did make a lasting change because he's well now. And he also did other things to help himself get better. This was just a key piece. But then about 3 or 4 years later, I just literally got moved. I went to every Psyche workshop that they offer. There's 5 of them. And I just fell in love with the process of being able to grow in the love of who I am, to begin my own self-love journey of me. So the reason I didn't think I needed Psyche was hilarious because it's just loved me enough when I started using it for myself every day. It was the best love gift I gave myself. And then throughout the workshops was when I realized my spirit just said, okay, for you to be a Psyche instructor. And I'm like, what? But Psyche helped me open up those channels of my spirit. And I'm like, okay. And so I actually let go of helping moms have babies, which I loved. And now I do this, which is
Mhm.
even at a higher level of love. So I'm grateful to listen to what my spirit guides me within me.
Great. And what are some of the other ways that Psyche has changed some of your clients? Could you share more of the transformations? Give us some more
Oh,
examples.
well, yeah. Thank you for that. Oh my gosh.
I love it
Yeah.
because seeing and hearing is believing. And I'm sure you got some
Wow.
great stories
Yeah.
of the men and
Right.
women you've helped. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So a lot of people, their personal power, connecting and remembering who they are. There's a woman, Michelle, who does massive work. She's a doctor for coaches. She's like a coach doctor. She came and learned Psyche with me, and I mean her massive transformation because she was living a typical life like everyone else says, do what you're told, be the good
Yeah.
little wife and mom, but she wasn't living fully her dream essence. So Psyche just helped her launch into where she is now, where she's massively influencing lots of people in great ways. Where she, instead of playing it small in her life, she's now reaching the multitudes. So she let go of the fear of doing that and stepped into her power. So it's a massive power igniting within us. Oh, of the gifts we have, of the love we have. And she has so many gifts. I'm in awe. Every time I hear her and talk to her, her wisdom she shares, her connection with spirit. She's also very connected multi-galactically and spiritually. And she's helping thousands and literally millions of people now.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Let's remind everyone how we can reach out to you. Do you mind sharing?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. So go to my website, igniteandhealyourlife.com. Igniteandhealyourlife.com. And what that means when you heal is you're just elevating yourself, like the helium and the helium, like in
Heal in a
air balloon,
balloon. Yep.
up and
Hmm.
elevate. So all healing means is you're just lifting yourself up from whatever's keeping you down or whatever's limiting you. That's all it means. And you're igniting your true essence. You're igniting the amazing love light essence that you are and letting that run the show instead of all the fears or the programs that you got when you were younger.
So basically, we can manifest anything we want in this life, right?
Technically,
Is it kind of like The Secret? I remember that book. And then it turned into a movie, but
yeah.
similar type of manifestations,
Well, it's one piece. So that got a little too far off on the manifestation because sometimes what you want and what you are meant to do, it might be different. So that's where your spirit guides you because sometimes what we want is we it depends what it's running from. If it's running from fear, it's not going to work. If what you want is from your love and from your gifts, then that's where it catapults. So Psyche helps you align yourself into what your true real desires are and let that blossom.
got it. All right, let's do it. We still have some time left. What else do you want to share with us, Miss Mazur, today?
Awesome. Well, let me ask you a question, Jill.
Sure.
Is there anything that you're going through, and then we could use it as an example, if that's okay?
There's
We all
plenty
have
I'm
stuff
going through, but ask me specifically. Is there anything I'm going through? What?
like in your life that's okay, that's challenging, or yeah, scaring you or frustrating you.
Yes. The truth is, I've been a single mom for forever. Well, my kids are 7 and 5, and the first son I had all by myself. The second one I had with a friend, and we used to have a great arrangement. And I used to work a lot in the middle of the night, and so when we had my son for the first maybe 2 years, he stayed at my house because he didn't work, and he babysat basically. So he wasn't expected to give much child support. He gave me $500 a month, right? But those days are long over. He does not stay at my house, doesn't come around, doesn't even see my son much anymore because he's too busy at work. Not that he doesn't care. He's a good person, a good father, but I really feel that I should be getting more child support. And lately he's been threatening me that he's getting an attorney to get a schedule together. I said, I would love for you to see him every other weekend, every week, because you barely see him. So please put it in writing. I'll sign anything. And at the same time, I really believe that, you should be paying half the medical expenses. And, his son, started school, our son, a few weeks ago. And I was told by the bus driver, we can't have anyone. He's a kindergartner. So he needs an adult there every day. And some days I work. And so I can't get him off the bus. So I had to hire someone in the neighborhood. He doesn't want to pay for half of that. So I'm very stressed at this because I know I spoke to an attorney about what he should be doing and he's not. So we're going through this process where, it's difficult because it's more personal, his end on me. It's more about my son, and I think he should be taken care of better and he should be doing the right thing in a sense, but he's not. So I'm dealing with this stressful issue because now we're getting attorneys involved and court dates got to happen and all that. And I just have this anxiety because last Friday I reached out kindly in a nice email just saying, hey, we can be amicable about this. What do you think is fair to pay? We know 500 is not fair. So let's agree on something. And as far as custody schedules, take anything you want. I'm dying to get them, to get my son out of here. So it gives mommy more time. Let's be honest. And he deserves to be with his father. So, and he wrote me back kind of a nasty letter about how hurt he is over me. And it was about me. And I said, this is not about me and us not getting along. And he's like, all you do is ask me for money. And I said, the two things for the rest of your life will be about when you're seeing your son and about the finance situation of what you have to split and what you have to pay. That's it. I'm not being mean. And I really tried being amicable before attorneys got involved. And he said, no, let the courts deal with it. So I'm a little offended by that, but I'm also proactive and have an attorney and it'll go that way. But it's wearing on me because it's hard that I wish we can work things out without having to spend. I said, we're going to spend more than my year child support going to court myself, let alone you. And who wants to spend thousands of dollars on an attorney if we could just kindly speak to each other? So it's not happening that way, but I feel like I'm very anxious over it. And I'm going to cry now. I'm hurt over it. And I just want it to end, but I don't know, what to do. How could I'm doing the right thing now by having an attorney, but I just am hurt. And I want what's best for my son first and foremost, and I wish it could be amicable, but clearly it's not. And it's, so I don't know. I mean, the attorney's going to help fine, but me emotionally is not easy. So maybe you can give
Yeah.
me some advice about
Mhm.
how I could uplift my spirit and just be positive about it and be stronger,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you
So
don't mind.
yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for that.
Thanks.
And the way Psyche works, so there's your spirit, if you're good with this, actually just connected with me, or if you're okay with this. So like,
Yeah.
hello, Jill, which is beautiful. Whoo, yeah, and I can feel it too. Wow. So, how do you want things to be instead?
Amicable, kind, nice, fair, fair. Um, it's simple. It should be fair. As
Okay.
a father who makes more money, he should be paying more than 500. He should be able to split the co-pays with me, medical insurance with me, but he won't. He should be, according to my attorney, he should be paying for half the babysitter expenses if the custodial parent's working, but he won't.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
want it to be fair. I'm not looking, this is not like a divorce and there's millions of dollars of assets. We were never connected that way. So it should be a kind of a simple process, but it's still very stressful for someone to have to go through.
Totally, totally. So at the highest level, this is here to help you, if I can offer this, and that you're about ready to just access in within you. You already said it that, and then what we do with Psyche is you help create a goal, which means you're going to help insert this within you, in your mind, in your heart, to run this program. Would you like to be able to believe that I am treated kindly and fairly?
Yes.
Because that's
Yes.
what you just said in all of that. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's okay. So go ahead and say it. Say I am treated kindly and
I
fairly.
am treated kindly and fairly. I
Okay. So
am treated
and
kindly
that's
and
okay.
fairly.
That's okay. So you say it, but just from this end, what we use with Psyche just means that the subconscious has a block to that for some reason, and that's okay. It just is running a different program. You get to change and install this one now. Okay. So we're just going to help you with, if you're good with this, just doing it really quickly. Does that sound good?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Excellent. Well, yeah, and you're doing all of it. You're just helping. You're just asking for our assistance here to help. Okay. Does that sound good? All right.
Yes.
So it's going to shift right now. Hmm. And if you're okay, just take a couple deep breaths just to allow that all to come in. But there's a process that works that your system is choosing to use to help you with the shifts. Okay. And then just welcome it in, your new way of being. This is literally how fast and easy you can do this for yourself with the gift of Psyche. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Perfect. All right. So now we're gonna have you say it again. So with your eyes looking down, with meaning and conviction, say, I am treated kindly and fairly.
I am treated kindly and fairly.
All right. So when we muscle test it strong now, yay. So yes,
Okay.
that just means that your subconscious believes this now. So you just inserted this new way of being for yourself. Okay. And the good
Okay.
thing is that you decided, because of the situation that's happened, you came up with within your own wisdom of how you want it to be instead. Like, how would you rather it be instead of this yucky way? This is what Psyche offers: is that you get to step into start creating the life the way you want. But it's vital that you change at the subconscious level of the mind. And this is what Psyche helps with, is because whatever programs are running there are always going to trump whatever you consciously want to do. Okay, it's just how our system is done, so that we can do things easily and in habits. Okay.
Okay.
So just right now, we're almost done. I know that, but just look back at your situation again now. Now that you have this new program running, that I am treated kindly and fairly, which means from everybody, like I am treated kindly and fairly, which means you're going to begin with yourself. Begin with yourself, treating yourself kindly and fairly. Okay. And then begin to watch how other people begin to treat you kindly and fairly. And you're like, wow, how nice is this? And become a good finder of it. Notice whenever anyone ever treats you kindly and fairly. And just say, well, thank you. Yes, because you know you deserve it. You know you're worthy of it. This is an activation within you of your worthiness. We all are meant to be treated kindly and fairly. We just have gotten really lost in this world, okay? And a lot of reasons why people do it, it might be with your ex doing this because of his own fears.
Yeah.
A lot of us are running our own fears, and we do control and we do mean things. We don't ever intentionally mean to do that. It's just it's done because of his limiting
We're
beliefs.
all hurt in
Yeah,
certain ways and have limited beliefs. I
exactly.
accept that and I understand that. Yeah, he's a good
Yeah,
person, but
totally.
yeah,
So, and it's important to understand it, and then it's important to stay in your power and claim what you want. And this is what you're doing here. Claim what you want.
yep.
Claim how that you deserve to be treated respectfully, and respectfully could be in there too. But I'm treated kindly and fairly, and respect you can grab into too if you want. So then the gift is go live in your new way this way. This is what we help with Psyche, is that you're going to then go show yourself this is true, that, yeah, I am treated kindly and fairly, which means you treat yourself kindly and fairly too,
Yeah.
of course. And then you'll be in the gratitude, and then begin to look for the good. So even with your ex, just choose to look for the good that he's doing and keep pointing it out, and then claim it that, well, we're going to handle this thing fairly and kindly. And you'll just start using those words. And the next thing you know, your higher energy field is going to help lift him up so that he can begin to start being kind and fair to you, because your subconscious knows that people are kind and fair to you. That's
Yeah.
just what this offers.
Okay. And I can use those words with him, right?
Yes.
When we're texting, can I say this should, okay.
Yes. And say it with power, because a lot of us say it a little too nice and they don't get it. No, you say it in your strength. There's a power within us. Hey, and then you believe in him. I know you're kind and fair. Speak it in him so that he can show you that he's kind and fair. Whatever you believe in somebody else, they're going to show you.
Yeah.
Speak it. I know you're kind and fair, and I know we can handle this kindly and fairly. And then you might use other words too, but you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how powerful you are. And this is where Psyche comes in, because when you can make the changes at the subconscious level of the mind, everything changes. Yep. And this is how powerful we are. And Psyche is just helping you to step in your power. So, yay!
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I'm treated kindly and fairly. I'm going to use this. And are we back again next week to talk? I can let you know how it's going.
Well, I would love to, but I guess I'm going to be working with Casey. So.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome to reach out to me. I do private sessions. This is just a little prelude, but we do a whole hour here for you to be standing in your power. I did help my sister that went through a divorce, and she's standing in her power, and it's amazing where she is now.
Well, so I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for demonstrating this with us, for our viewers and our listeners. And Mary, thank you. Remind us one more time how we can reach you.
Thank you. IgniteandHealYourLife.com. IgniteandHealYourLife.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm smiling now. I feel better.
I know.
Thank you.
You got this.
Thank you.
You choose to turn it for good. Turn it for good.
Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day. And same to all of our listeners. Please reach out to her and remember that, all of us, we should be treated kindly and fairly, and step into your own power. We can make it happen with the use of Psyche. Mary Mazur, thank you again.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.